Farmers Group says that they have yet to receive the government subsidies due to them from the reduced tariff on imported rice. Recall that under President Bongbong Marcos's Executive Order 62, the tariffs for imported rice were cut to 15% from 35% in a bid to temper price hikes. The Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or SINAG says that the government's tariff cut on rice imports took away funding for the purchase of additional farming implements and direct aid to farmers. According to SINAG, farmers should have received some 13.3 billion pesos from the government. Let's unpack this move some more with Mr. Jason Cainglet. He is the Executive Director of SINAG. Jason, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Ms. Sean and Ms. Risa and to all our televiewers.
I think, Jason, you heard naman the report. I'm sure you've also received the news, right? The amendment of the Rice Tariffication Law, or RA 12078 to be exact. What was your initial reaction? Because I did see your statement to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's what we've been saying all along, that we don't need to reduce tariffs if we want to lower rice prices. There are many initiatives, there are many efforts, there are many programs, including the one that you just shared, the Rice for All program of the DA. These are initiatives that we are supporting because you don't need to resort to reducing tariffs if you want to lower rice prices. It's been 6 months since EO 62 was signed by the President, and all the news the past few days indicate that it did not lower prices, and instead Congress and even some of our regulatory agencies are looking at what happened, at why did rice prices did not decrease despite the tariff reduction.
Okay. So, bali ganito yan, no? Let's just, for the benefit of everyone who might not have been following this from the beginning, 6 months ago, EO 62 was passed, so they lowered the tariffs from 35 to 15%. At that time, all-time high, no? Yung mga imported rice natin, because the top exporting countries were also going through some difficulties, so they wanted to hoard their stock, right? Right now, 6 months later, we're seeing amendments to the Rice Tariffication Law. However, your statement has kind of brought up certain things, right? So from those tariffs, a big chunk is supposed to go to the RCEF, right? Or the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund, of which SINAG is saying that 13.3 billion pesos, this is at least from before pa, have not made it to the farmers yet. Can you confirm that and tell us what happened?
Yeah.
What happened to the money?
Let me clarify that the 13.3 billion is the figure presented by Customs as the foregone revenues. Ibig sabihin, ito yung hindi na-collectang taripa because we reduced the tariff to 15%. So if the tariff was not reduced, we would be getting this extra 13.3 billion. So that's what we're saying. If EO 62 was not effective, tariff reduction did not reduce price, nalugi pa gobyerno, nalugi consumers, nalugi farmers. So what we're saying is yung commitment or yung pangako ni dating ni current DOF Secretary Ralph Recto to give the difference, or to give kung ano man yung kulang na nawala sa taripa because of the tariff reduction, ibabalik niya sa RCEP. RCEP is the depository of the tariffs collected from rice import. So what we're saying now is we hope that Secretary Recto will make do his promise of returning the 13.3 billion, and the farmers are committed that if we get that 13.3 billion by March or April, rice prices will really go down by 40 to 45 pesos without reducing tariffs and without losing money from government. Government's losing money because of tariff reduction. So that's how we say na yung 13.3 billion that was lost because of tariff reduction, ibalik lang sa ating farmers. And remember, reducing 35% to 15% is 60% reduction. So talagang malaki yung nawala sa makakolekta ng ating gobyerno because of EO 62.
Okay. Your thoughts, no, and your feelings, your sentiment, at least of the rice production sector on RA 12078 or the amended RTL. Of course, it looks good on paper. You're supposed to get from 10 billion, it's now 30 billion. I expect that, that's good news. But the question is it really, or is it just PR?
No, it is good news. For the last 6 years, the rice industry have we've been getting funds from RCEP, but that was 10 billion. Then excess funds would also go to the industry, so it became 15, 20. But because of the amount and the volume of our imports, we calculated, and in fact, we were one of the few groups that proposed to increase the RCEP funds from 10 billion to 30 billion. And if we're getting 30 billion next year, it will truly help the industry because we've already allotted funds from RCEP. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya i-allocate pa lang, automatic na yung allocation under the 30 billion. That is, a percentage would go to seed production, another percentage would go to the mechanization, another percent would go to training of our farmers, including loans, and then cash, direct cash, would also be provided to our farmers. So in short, talagang nakinabang ang industry sa RCEP, and kaya nga the system, the program is going very good. Kaya lang we were really surprised na nag-issue ng EO62 that really derailed the efforts of everyone, private sector and government, to really make our rice industry more competitive, meaning we can reduce prices, we can reduce cost of production to the benefit of our consumers. Talagang nasira yung ating mga plano in the last 5 years because of EO62.
Well, Jason, since you mentioned already being competitive, sa consumers naman, di ba, kung local or imported, I don't think it really matters, basta yung quality is there. To us, describe, how is local rice faring compared to imported rice ngayon?
Yung quality, there's no question because local is more fresh, unlike yung imported kung saan nanggaling, and you don't know kung anong mga hinalo dyan. Yung local kasi talagang from farm, minili siya, naging bigas, binenta. So freshness and quality talagang lamang ang local. Kaya lang, lagi tayong at a disadvantage because imported rice, since they are cheaper, lower yung cost of production nila, and their governments, Vietnamese government, Thai government, Indian government, they are really supporting and subsidizing yung kanilang sector. Talo lang tayo sa presyo sa ngayon, but not quality and not standard and not freshness. So, one way to really reduce prices is to lower yung cost ng pagtatanim mo ng palay. Right now kasi, cost to produce palay is 18 pesos per kilo. If you are able to reduce it by 15 pesos or 14 pesos, and farmers can sell the palay at 19 to 20 pesos, we can easily sell rice at 38 pesos without resorting to imports, without resorting to tariff reduction. As long as we lower the cost to produce rice, we increase our productivity. Right now, it's just 4,000 for 4 tons per hectare. If we can make it 4.5 tons per hectare, you increase the yield, you lower the cost of production, we can easily sell rice by 35 pesos in 1 to 2 years. So that's really the long term, and we were really surprised and we were really taken aback by the decision to implement EO62. Otherwise, we could have been enjoying much lower rice prices by this time.
Okay. The whole thing, last question, no, Mr. Kainglet, we are running out of time. Pero a few days ago, or baka last week to, no, narinig ko si DA Secretary Kiko Tiu Laurel, sabi niya he's hoping to break 40. And you're saying we could have done this before. One other big concern, and I'm not sure if that EO really addressed this or this new law really addressed this, the amended RTL. Kamusta naman yung lagay ng mga smugglers? Can we break 40? Are the smugglers still there? Because this new amended law allows for stronger regulatory powers for the DA. They can now inspect warehouses, etc. So your thoughts lang on that?
Actually, we have two recently enacted laws. One is the amended RTL, and one, which is more important, is the anti-agricultural economic sabotage law. Yun talagang mas positive, mas kumbaga may power ang government, talagang pasukin ng mga warehouses. And remember, these are economic sabotage, meaning to say, these are non-bailable crimes. Makasuhan ka, kahit nililitis ang kaso, wala pang conviction, hindi ka pwede magpiyansa. You'll end up in jail. What we've been saying all along is that makasample lang tayo, maybe one or two of these personalities, para naman baka matakot yung mga gumagawa pa ng mga economic sabotage sa agriculture sector. Remember, hindi na siya smuggling, nandiyan ang profiteering, hoarding, cartel, all this illicit trade. With these twin new laws, we're hoping that baka this time, meron naman tayong makaso at makonvict para naman makinabang ang ating mga farmers and consumers sa murang bigas in the end.